Hello everybody. I didn't make a video for basically a while, a couple weeks now because, been pretty busy with school and stuff, as finals pretty much wrap up. Um, I'm getting pretty close to like the nitty gritty, like the end of my time at a JC, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so overall though, I wish that I could make videos more often and stuff, but I got considering the shirt I'm wearing and stuff. You already know where this is going. So this is Dressrosa Part Two. I felt I could have done all of Dressrosa in one video, but I feel like there's a lot to cover, especially with the last like 10 or so chapters, like eight or so maybe, that kind of wrap things up. There was a lot that happened, like the Grand Fleet. So first off, the entire like the whole Doflamingo thing being a celestial dragon, that came out of nowhere. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I haven't really discussed it thoroughly yet. But the fact is that that a pirate, of his caliber used to be a celestial dragon, just opened up the door for a whole lot of things. Like when you start, when you watch Mr. Moji's video, he makes some pretty good videos, and he made one of them about Dressrosa. And the way he was talking about relating Doflamingo and Dressrosa to a smaller version of the big throne wars that we see basically confirmed by Doflamingo, like who's going to be sitting on top of this imaginary throne, these this war that's going to happen at some point. And I don't know if that is going to be the case someday, but it definitely should be in discussion for it. So definitely Doflamingo was a pretty captivating villain, pretty interesting villain. He had a lot going for him, did a lot of different things. It was pretty unique. At least he used a gun. Like, I don't know how many times One Piece villains don't even use weapons. Like, I think at least it makes you look a little bit more like capable or like more intelligent or more diverse if you're actually able to use like a gun or a sword or a shield and actually use them properly. So that was kind of cool. I love the part where Law flips off Doflamingo and then he immediately gets killed. Or I mean not killed but like wrecked, by all those bullets and stuff while he's holding his arm, saying the Straw Hats are like miracles, and they perform miracles all the time, and like that's pretty true. I'd have to say to a degree. But yeah, it's one of those arcs that kind of goes on too long at times. But I feel like what they did, what Oda introduced and what he did, for an entire day event, the entire Grand Fleet had to be introduced. Like if you're gonna have a Grand Fleet for Luffy, then in order for that to happen, like they all had to be introduced in a pretty unique way, or at least have their own goals, their own set, their own like personality. It's like the Saboti Archipelago when he just came up with all those supernova or worst generation people real quick. Like he was just popping them off, but at the same time, Drake has this kind of stern personality, and like he's smart and he used to be a Marine, and you have Bonnie as a glutton, but there seems to be some kind of a reason why she has such a high bounty. Um, I think there was something real brief with Blackbeard and Bonnie by the end of this arc that kind of confirms it, at least to some degree. She's somebody that Akeno would bother protecting. By the way, Akeno, or see, I don't know about his name. Like some people pronounce it Akeno, and then some people pronounce it in a different way, and then some, So I'm just gonna call him Sakazuki because screw it. That's how you say his actual name. So screw the admiral thing. But Sakazuki looks crazy different. Like he's got the beard, he's got the whole he's all in white. And I don't think we saw him in white before. Usually he was in it was a different look now that he's fleet admiral. But he looks like he's got the scar on his face. He got real pissed about the oak. No, I'm not using those names anymore. He got really pissed at Kuzan's leaving for the position of admiral. He abandoned it, and I don't know if it was filled with, because there's these two admirals that Doflamingo mentioned, as Green Bull and Fujitora, that we saw. Like Fujitora is an amazing character. We saw him clash with Sabo. That was amazing. I really loved basically everything he did with the whole gambling thing and all that. That was pretty cool. I think it might set up a future fight for an actual fight between either Zoro and Sabo were the only two people that fought Fujitora, so I could see either those two people, either Sabo or Zoro, fighting Fujitora. I think there's going to be an admiral fight for each of the main four, like the main four Straw Hats that like get fights, like because you have Usopp, you have Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy, and Sanji got nothing in this arc. He did have some moments with Viola, but we already discussed that. That was pretty bizarre. That like they just said, get out of here. So it's probably said it. I'm in the whole cake right now, and it's pretty clear that that's set up so much for Sanji's character, like having like he has the spotlight. So I think at some point Zoro and Usopp, are gonna have their own spotlights too. Now that we've seen Sanji have a backstory too. But yeah, overall, like the Gorosei showing up, it was just like that last couple of 8 chapters, it was pretty exciting. Like Kaido shows up, like this guy looks like a freaking beast. He's got the beast pirates, but he looks like I don't know how that wound on his like abdomen or that cut. Like I don't know exactly the extent of it, but it almost looks like somebody took out like an organ, right? Or like they did something to him. So I wonder if they made him, because I'm not sure if he's immortal or if he's just really powerful. Because you know, like spears were shattering and all this stuff. Like just by hitting him, the anime does an even better job of showing like just how insanely powerful this guy was, or like it's godly. You know, I just don't know the extent of his power right now, but there's so many showings that he's a Zoan or like a beastly, because he's the strongest beast alive, not the strongest human like Whitebeard was, the strongest man. So that's I'm pretty sure that he's an awakened Zoan, and that's Crocodile even mentioned that those people end up like he mentioned this in Nimble Down that they can revive themselves real quick. So maybe that's just why. But you would think that Sea Stone Prism like chains would like negate whatever crazy Zoan like ability he has. Maybe it's just he's used it so much that he's one with the Zoan Devil Fruit. I don't know. Or maybe he's just using crazy hockey, but I'm not sure how hockey affects Sea Prism. I don't think we'll ever have an answer to that. But yeah, seeing the whole conclusion to it, seeing him slam Dolphin, like he destroyed like Dressrosa was like this, and then just it blew up Luffy had to do it though. Like he had to destroy Dressrosa and to create like something better. So as crazy as that sounds, at least it's gone. Like Dressrosa's gone. Like the old bad, like the Don Quixote Dressrosa that was they were rulers for a long time. We know that by the Tontadas tribe that they were talking about that. So that whole Dressrosa's gone. Now they can rebuild something better. So that's kind of like this kind of cleansing thing, like where you just like get rid of the bad and just start fresh. So I'm surprised King Riku came back to being in power, because like I'm surprised that like overall Kiro's or Viola, like is Viola still queen? Like how does that work? Like I don't understand that. I mean, but yeah, Kiros you would think technically is king because he married somebody who was a queen or a princess, but they're not princess anymore because the mom died, so now they're both queens. So you would think that he'd be the king, but I guess King Riku's still alive, so I don't know, that was just weird. But it's great seeing Fujitora bow, like the Marines, at least like those Marines and Garp's Marines, like the ones that he's under him, at least those people are pretty cool. The reason I say Fujitora instead of Iso is because Iso is like, I don't know, his name doesn't sound as cool as Fujitora, and those other admiral names, I cannot say for the life of me. But yeah, for the most part, the conclusion and then the Gear 4, like my God, that was insane. It looks stupid, but at the same time, like I already had that spoiled. Like it's everywhere. Gear 4, like the statues, like the promos, like they're everywhere, man. Like the Stampede trailer that I didn't realize, I guess I shouldn't have watched it. It had Gear 4, so it's like, come on, like where isn't Gear 4, right? But the like when he used Rhino Shiner and just like kicked him into the building, and like it was just like one move after another. Jack Culverine, and then they like he just gets like hit like it's so fast that like his observation hockey, if Doflamingo has any, we haven't really seen that, but if he had any, then like he couldn't do it because it's so fast and so sporadic. But yeah, it's pretty crazy that like Gear 4 was just an amazing I wish it looked more like Nightmare Luffy, but at the same time like he was just wrecking him. Like he even said like you can't do anything once I go into Gear 4, and like he just slammed him like all over the place. Like that first hit like blasted him across like all of Dressrosa, like, and he was coughing up blood. And then like the Leo Bazooka, that was cool. It kind of looked like a Raikogan, the move that Rob Lucci used. So I'd be cool if he could learn how to do that, but obviously he probably won't. I wonder if that could be a cool block against Raikkogan though. Like if he did that, and then Rob Lucci has an even like stronger version of Raikkogan that like uses hockey, like so he just like blocks it. Like Luffy uses his hockey or something cool like that. I could see later because I bet they'll fight at some point again. We even see briefly Luffy like clash with like Crocodile after Alabasta, so I could see at least a clash between those two, Rob Lucci and Luffy again. But yeah, CP0 shows up. Like the Rob Lucci, we see him confirmed. We see Spandam. I don't understand that. I mean, he should be in a wheelchair, but whatever. They're there. The revolutionaries got all his weapons, so that's like a big plus for the revolutionaries. But then like I guess Burgess like was on the ship, so now like Blackbeard's gonna show up, and then in the whole cake it's confirmed it definitely shows up, and then like starts wrecking stuff. So the arc was really good. I'm glad Big Mom wasn't in this arc because like as soon as I saw that ship, I was like, no, please, no, God, like she's been in every arc, bro. She's in Punk Hazard. Like there was mentioned heavily. It's like stop, just please stop mentioning Big Mom. Like either we have an arc about her completely, or she doesn't need to be in like 5 arcs. Like this is too much. Like there's never been a villain in this many arcs. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Kaido obviously is gonna be pissed. Like once he finds out, like in Zoe, he was even more pissed. Like he hit those guys so hard, like they went flying. So the whole Doflamingo thing is pretty crazy. That like I don't think people really grasped how much like them taking Doflamingo out. Like I wonder what Doflamingo's role would have been if he was still alive. Like would he have joined like if Kaido like started this big war, would he have been like, oh yeah, like yo, what's up? Like yeah, I'll join you. Like would he have been a Yonko commander like we've seen with Whole Cake? I don't know. Like I don't know if he's Yonko commander status, but he is something. Dolphy is probably just a little bit below. Obviously, Law messed him up pretty bad with that hit to the chest with the not gamma knife, but no, yeah, it is gamma knife. That's what messed him up really bad. So his endurance is pretty good, but that final like King Kong gun is pretty cool. Hopefully we get to see that, especially with Kaido. But obviously that guy's gonna tank anything. So Dressrosa was a pretty amazing arc. The things it sets up in the future. It continues with this new Yonko, new saga. We even saw Baby Five and like Senior Pink have like moments where like we saw backstory on them. So that's pretty great. So it's a pretty great arc. It's one of those arcs that I don't think, I don't know if it deserves as much hate, but I do understand why it would get hate. And then we have the fleet, the Grand Fleet. So that was a really good addition too. It was pretty clear that was where they're going. Oda was going with those characters, because otherwise, like I guess they could have just been allies, but they were so devoted. It was like either they join the crew or not. So this was a good way to have them join the crew but not. So that was pretty cool. The arc was pretty great at times. It was slow at times. Like the whole Doflamingo, like after Luffy runs out of hockey, was just too long. So it's nice. It was a nice end to see Doflamingo get pounded into the ground, because I've had enough of Doflamingo. Not as a character, but just as a person in the series. He's just such a scumbag. Like, it was so satisfying to see that hit. I do kind of sympathize with his character to a degree about why he would, be that way. But he was kind of pure evil. Like, he's pretty much 90% pure evil from a kid. And then Law's backstory is also really amazing. Corazon, like I wasn't expecting to like that person as much as I did, but I did. And the way they went out with the music and the anime was really amazing. But yeah, overall it was a pretty great arc. It had its bad moments, obviously, slow pacing and stuff, but I'm not sure. Maybe is it an editor's choice or not? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see. So yeah, that's my take on Dressrosa. So yeah, take it or leave it. So see you till next time.